Real life, real stories. Let's see what's trending in Indianapolis.
Erin.
This is Paul Poteet on The Edge.
Are you an air traffic controller? What are you doing?
Or windshield
He's
wipers.
windshield wipers.
It's a little-known 70s disco dance called the windshield wiper for a while. Welcome
Hi,
back.
Paul Poteet. Welcome back to you.
Here's the difference. I just got back from a cruise, and boy, are my arms tired.
There it is. See,
wait, where is everything?
where is Henry Youngman when we need him, right?
Here's the difference between this is Indiana, and then this is that's Indiana.
Yep.
This is I can go either way. What do you think?
Wow. Okay. So you're internalizing your cruise, right? You're just kind of
Close to my heart. Please don't use that for a screen grab. Okay. Thank you.
done. Oh, it's already there.
Well, it's already all over the internet.
So where'd you go? Where'd you go?
The ports of call were Saint Martin and also Saint Kitts and Old San Juan, and then Labadee or Labadee.
Labadee, labado. What?
Life goes on.
Oh, life goes on in Haiti. So, 4 ports, 8 days, no waiting.
Wow.
And, yeah, a lot of fun.
Want to give a shout out to the
The people of Haiti.
people.
Yeah, those of you that might be streaming.
Edge of Haiti.
It wouldn't have been me streaming it because I did not buy the internet package.
Oh, that's an expensive little gem there, isn't it?
Yeah. And there were people, it was interesting. It was interesting being like totally disconnected, except for a couple hours when we were in San Juan, because you have access suddenly we have AT&T. So all of a sudden you have the usual network.
Huzzah!
All of a sudden, all these, you look down and you see your email thing says
Beep,
100.
beep, 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 bing, bing, bing. Everybody's beeping and pinging.
No, must not look, must not
And
look.
then you threw it overboard, and then
Yeah, they threw it overboard. It's interesting being disconnected for that much. The only thing that I really missed was we would be, wondering or seeing some kind of bird off, as we gazed off the balcony, and I wonder what kind a bird that is. Can't look it up. So it was the reference stuff that I missed the most.
And what a great segue, because you're constantly referencing stuff for us on the edge here. So
I was able to find some really creepy stories, even just being back a couple of days. Apparently, the internet did not stop without me.
no, it's been busy.
Yeah, it's been busy. Oh, wait till we get to number 3, as it were. But we'll start with daylight savings time. Do you say saving or savings?
I try to ignore the thing altogether because it really does annoy us.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We came back on Sunday evening. They turned the ship's time forward an hour on Friday night instead of Saturday night, because otherwise I guess it would get in the way of all the they're getting people off the boat on Sunday morning, and they were afraid that nobody would know the real time.
Oh, wow.
And that would screw everything up. So we had to move our clocks forward on Friday night. That would have been. But people have a lot of, controversial feelings about, or strong feelings, I guess, about, some savings time. And so I found this article, 10 things you didn't know about it. And what I thought was the most interesting one, sometimes Benjamin Franklin gets the credit for it, I guess.
Right.
But there's some theory that he was half joking when he suggested it. The first serious case for daylight savings time came from a guy who worked at a post office by day, and he was an entomologist at night. George Vernon Hudson did most of his bug hunting at night, and he was frustrated by how early the sun set during the summer months, and he reasoned that springing the clocks forward would allow more daylight for bug collecting.
Holy.
Oh, that makes me hate this even more.
He controlled the world.
For bugs.
For bugs.
You know what he was? He was ahead of his time. And
Paul, we've missed you, Paul.
He proposed the idea to a scientific society in New Zealand in 1895. It was panned for being pointless and overly complicated. 2 decades later, daylight savings time would begin its march across the developed world.
That's why it bugs me.
Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. So yeah, and then it got pushed into. It really became widespread, I guess, around World War I here in the country, and then it came back. It gained renewed popularity back during the big energy crises of the early '70s. And I guess up until that point, every state could kind of do what it wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then most states fell in line in the '70s, with some exceptions for a long time, here in this state being one of them. But yeah,
It's also, they say it's also a health hazard.
Yeah, it is. It makes me sick.
Some studies say the extra hour of sleep we lose by springing ahead can affect us in terms of heart attack, stroke, and susceptibility to illness. But get this, on the other hand, there's another study that says the daily incidence of robbery dropped by 7% following the start of daylight savings time. And
I would rather be robbed.
You'd at least be awake for it.
Exactly.
Does it also have health effects towards kidney stones? I want to know.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my next question. Are you blaming your recent on the lack of sleep? And nobody, by the way, do people suddenly get really healthy in the fall when we gain that hour back?
Yeah, Paul, stick it to science. You tell him.
Just saying. I mean, are you going to lose, any tiny remaining kidney stones this fall by getting another hour of sleep? Does it work both ways?
I don't want any kidney stones to fall ever.
I'm sorry, everyone, that you're hearing this story.
Well, Pixar, it didn't happen.
Oh, no.
Nobody wants to see that, do they? Maybe Brittany is sticking pins in her voodoo doll view. That's story number 2.
Wow, look at what Brittany has.
Hold it down, push it down a little, or tilt it a little bit, maybe. I can't see the draw. Okay, there you go.
It's literally a paper voodoo doll that has been on her desk.
Oh my.
I have a whole pad of them.
You already were ahead of me on the story that I found.
And I have real voodoo dolls at home, too. Is anyone surprised here? No.
Creepy.
Nobody worried about that one.
And they're from New Orleans, so they're real.
Real voodoo dolls that you got suckered to buy.
Probably could have bought that in a gift hut on St. Martin. Yeah,
no, they don't have hexes there. They have hexes in Louisiana.
See, man, this story is right up your alley.
It really is.
Yeah, I'm psyched about it.
We're learning more about Brittany every day.
I was not expecting this to have quite the impact that apparently this did. They studied 229 employees, asked them to think of a worst workplace interaction that involved abuse from their boss. Some were allowed to take out their job frustrations on a makeshift voodoo doll, carrying the boss's name by sticking pins, burning it with candles, pinching it with pliers. Confess! And a third of the study's participants reported lower feelings of injustice and said they were far less likely to still feel bitter once they'd, taken a few whacks at the voodoo doll. So maybe Brittany's on to something. Revenge is the dish best served with dolls? I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm just looking at the paper and just making sure my name's not on it. And I'm good so far, but I haven't seen the rest of her pack.
And your name is Ken or Barbie, I would be especially worried. Already labeled,
Wow.
Voodoo dolls.
Who knew?
I mean, I can see how that might be a release for some people.
Like to do that Homer Simpson thing. Away into a bush. Yes, that is definitely more about you than I thought I would learn. I'm so glad I picked that story. Boy, I hope nobody has a connection to story number 3, though, like that, because it's about family toilet paper.
Yep, we're good.
Nope.
Okay. Thumbs up. A new trend, yeah, right, has folks becoming more environmental when it comes to wiping.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
You're seeing there is family cloth wipes.
No.
Reusable.
No.
Toilet paper. That's right. I said reusable.
This is just wrong.
Everything about this is wrong and bad.
Some people you only use it for, and I will be delicate here. Some people only use it for just the quick visit into the bathroom.
I don't care.
And then some people use it for everything.
No.
Who does the laundry? What a crappy job that would be.
What happened? How? I have so many questions. The first time someone brings this home and is like, family, I would like us to all give this a try.
Right.
Let's pass it around and see how it just feels for everyone.
Can't you get another use out of that? It's a conversation.
Ugh.
Is there some sort of an indicator, like when you buy the tires at and they have that tread wear indicator?
That's disgusting.
Oh my!
Everyone who does that.
How entirely disgusting is that?
They should be ashamed. All of you should be ashamed who's purchasing this.
It's small cloth squares put in a basket. What are you allowed? Although people buy, we had for a couple of weeks when we had our first son, we actually tried the
Cloth diaper things.
Yeah.
So this is essentially it's a cloth diaper for the entire family.
For grown-up people.
And it did not. That experiment lasted, I think, about 2 weeks with our first son, and we didn't even try.
No.
Oh my Lord, that is crazy.
No.
You've got to devote some extra time. You've got to, mark out some extra time in your laundry work day if you're going to be doing that. And
I would start charging people that if I'm doing your laundry, then you're paying me $100.
One user explained, quote, in my mind, buying and using disposable toilet paper was literally flushing money down the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to say for the mental health of the entire family.
It's not money, though. There is a crucial difference in that. You can't take that into, Walmart and buy more family cloth with that cloth.
No, you cannot.
Money down the toilet. You're flushing toilet paper down the toilet. That's why it's there.
Wow.
That's why it's called toilet paper.
Can't we focus our energies on something maybe more productive in society as opposed to the communal wipe? Please.
It's disgusting. That actually is disgusting.
I don't even want to be in the same house with, again, we had 2 teenage sons. I didn't want to be in the same house with their bathroom, with.
You're telling me all of a sudden on top of all the other kids' clothes, and trust me, there's some disgusting stuff there. Now we have, who's going to fold the basket of butt wipes?
Reusables.
And once you just eyeball that going, I don't think that's...
I'm moving out immediately.
I know a guy. There are 3. That was a great group, wasn't it?
Yeah. Thanks so much, man.
I can't stop thinking about it. Like how gross that actually. Ugh.
I don't know. I think I'm still stuck on the Voodoo Dolls.
Oh well.
Maybe you could bind them both.
Maybe.
No pun intended. That's right. If you take the family cloth and use it on one of your Voodoo Dolls, and all of a sudden Uncle Fred is just squirming in his seat.
Or this could be reusable. Like you could use this as toilet paper.
Oh no.
Oh, she just went there. That's it, right there.
Oh my God, I'm a genius.
That's it. Yeah, you sell the they'd probably make more money if they sold the disposable.
Oh, I'm sure people
There's
would
a
love.
market here.
I'm sure people would love to be able to abuse our voodoo doll with reusable bathroom wipe caricatures.
The reusable bathroom wipe with like celebrities or political figures on.
Okay, no one steal my idea. I'm gonna make this a business plan.
Toilet paper voodoo.
Paper voodoo dolls. It's mine. Nobody take it. Nope.
Okay, you've marked your territory. It's yours.
Oh. You can have it.
You can have it.
I'm looking for investors.
Where's Brittany? She'll be out in a minute. She's working on something. That was worth waiting 2 weeks for.
Yes.
Those are your stories this time around on the edge.
I'm not sorry.
Oh, no, you're not, and that's. I
think it's a great idea.
That's the thing. Oh well. we got to give our audience some weather here. So lay it on us. What we got?
We've got quieter weather now, thankfully, after a couple of days of, Tuesday, it was like springtime, only instead of thunderstorms bubbling up real quickly and just coming down in small areas, there was snow that was bubbling. Those crazy little snow squalls. Those can be tricky just because, they limit visibility all of a sudden, but those are pretty much gone now for a few days. Although I do not like the way St. Patrick's Day is shaping up because that looks a little rainy and maybe snowy at the beginning and the end of the day. We might have some snow mixed in. But the parade itself, if I recall correctly, downtown is Friday. So that should be okay. Just cold. I've been in that parade many times, and it's seldom is it warm. It seems like it's cold on the day they do that. But Sunday looks good. So if you're making your weekend plans, gravitate towards Sunday, and then we have some more rain, maybe mixed with snow showers next Monday and Tuesday. The normal high, low 50s now. So most of those days are below average, which kind of looks like it probably is going to be the trend the second half of March before we light it up in April. It might be a little on the warmer side again come April. And
April.
April's got a lot of responsibility.
Can't wait for that too when it happens.
You need to shake off that cruise mentality, Paul. You can't keep on bringing that. You're just bringing us down, man.
Yeah, I know. It's at some point you have to get off the boat. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, for everybody who wants to get on to Paul Poteet's boat, make sure you go check him out at paulpoteet.com, as well as follow him on Twitter at Paul Poteet. You can see all the Poteets everywhere, and boy, he's doing a heck of a lot. So go check him out. Anything coming up in the near future for you?
Starting this week, you'll actually hear me downtown Indianapolis reverberating around. I think it's along Georgia Street, and there's a new project where this company that
are you just like walking on the street with a megaphone? What's going on?
You would think, and just with
my sandwich board.
Sandwich board weather. Here's your sandwich board 7 days. I walk out and say, yeah, my board just has like a big graphic. No, it's a little more high tech than that, and you'll hear like a mini virtual radio station along Georgia Street with music and little community updates. And one of the things you'll hear from time to time is me doing the weather. So it's one of those wacky little new media things.
Hey, you gotta love it.
That Mr. Weatherman is involved with, and I think it's going to be in some retail stores too, although I'm not absolutely sure about that. So if you happen to hear me in a gas station in the next...
Don't be alarmed.
Don't be alarmed. If you hear, is Paul doing the weather here? What is going on? That would be me also. So
cool.
Paul, all the Poteets are everywhere. That's the thing.
And get away. I'm stuck to you.
Excellent.
Hey, Paul, I want you to know I've never made a voodoo doll of you ever.
Yeah, right. I've heard that before.
Not yet.
Not yet. All of a sudden, they change the locks on the doors.
Well, Paul, thanks so much, and we will bounce back and see you next week. All right.
All right. See you later.
All right. Take care.